I don't exactly have much of a skit for this one, so yeah. Play the video. Hey everyone, Brobuscus here, and welcome back to another Let's Watch of Death Battle. Today we've got Hercules versus Sun Wukong. So yeah. Before we get into it, there should be a link in the description below. You can go watch the actual episode yourself. Go support the official release and watch some rando on YouTube react to it. Okay, got it? Cool. A few things to note before we actually get started. For one, you may notice that I'm a little deadpan. That is because literally like 20 minutes ago, probably, I just got back from a week-long vacation. So yeah, that was fun. It was fun, but it's knocked me out. But I'm also impatient, and that overtakes my tiredness. That's not a word, but we'll go with it. Also, well, I don't want to like point fingers. Unfortunately, I did have not the results, but the next time spoiled for me. I'm not gonna point fingers at who. I really should have just kept off the internet, really. But I mean, also just don't post anything about it until after the episode is out publicly. But whatever. I was on an airplane when the episode came out. I was just getting off, and I just turned off airplane mode on my phone, and I got notifications and polls on my YouTube feed talking about the next time. So I already know what it is, but I don't know who wins this fight. So let's talk about this fight. So Hercules versus Sun Wukong. First off, wild match. Definitely not a match I was expecting to happen at all. Definitely media I wasn't expecting them to tackle at all. But I'm happy they're doing it, and I wouldn't be opposed to them doing it again in the future. Like this is like, you want to talk about floodgates opening? This is it. So, despite that though, I'm not crazy familiar with either Hercules or Sun. More specifically, Sun. I always hear stuff about Hercules, like it's just a thing that keeps getting brought up in conversation at times. I definitely hesitate to call myself an expert because I most certainly am not. But I'm more familiar with their namesakes or their inspirations. Like for Hercules, you got the one from Disney, you got the one from Marvel. He was a big inspiration on Superman. Sun, he's a big inspiration on Goku and a lot of anime. He has a character named after him in Ruby, which, as you probably know by now, I'm kind of a Ruby fan. I don't think that was obvious enough already, but anyways. But as for the two themselves, I'm not crazy familiar with them. So yeah. But as far as this stuff, like who do I want to win? Who do I think is going to win? Okay, so I kind of want Hercules to win. So, and the only reason why is because it's like I said, I'm more familiar with their namesakes and their inspirations, and I'm more preferable towards Hercules in that regard. Like the Disney movie's great. I prefer Superman over Goku. And as for Sun from Ruby, I like him. I'm not gonna say I don't. But he's definitely not like up there as far as like my favorite Ruby character. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'm rooting for Hercules, but only slightly. As for who I think is gonna win, frick me, I don't know. um, uh, I mean, the main consensus is Sun, but the G1 blog, which I'm a member of the team, but I had like no involvement in the blog on this fight. They all said Hercules. Or at least most of them said Hercules, and I haven't really read up much on it because I was, out. Um, but the arguments I've heard for Hercules make sense. Basically, what I think this comes down to is, can Hercules kill Sun? And that's really it. Because otherwise, I don't know. The one thing I have heard is that Herc has... also, yeah, I'm still going to call him Hercules. I know his real name is Heracles, but I'm still going to call him Hercules. If you don't like that, then sucks to be you. Basically, what I've heard for Hercules is that he has poison-tipped arrows, which have worked on immortals like himself before. Granted, Sun is a bit different as far as immortality is concerned, but yeah, I don't know. Basically, what I think, because I think immortality aside, I know this is pre-godhood and pre-Buddhism for both, but they're both still very much immortal regardless of that. But the main thing is like, if it wasn't for their immortality, I would say Hercules wins pretty dang easily. He's much stronger, much faster, all that stuff. He has everything he needs to win. Sun is still smarter and more of a trickster. He could work around Hercules, but it wouldn't be enough without his immortality. So I don't know how they're going to tackle immortality on this. For now, I'm going to go with Hercules. I'll probably go with Sun after the analysis. But on that note, let's watch the analysis, shall we? Let's do it. Okay. I will try to commentate, but I'm not really feeling it today.
Hercules, the god of strength.
Sun Wukong, the Monkey King.
Myth has many heroes, but few overcome their past to become legendary.
And maybe inspire some comics and anime to boot. He's wears an iron boomstick.
And it's our job
Also
to analyze
water.
their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
He's
All right,
the
Herc.
man, the myth, the legend. He's Hercules.
Stories of Hercules exist in many iterations, but we'll examine the earliest known accounts, the legend of Heracles.
No Disney Zero to Hero, just the classic Greek myth. And like most ancient Greek stories, it began with Zeus being a total creep.
The god of thunder did
Yeah.
his thing with a princess by disguising himself as her husband.
Oh, what the hell, man.
And thus a demigod was born, who was named Alcaeus.
But Hera was pretty pissed Zeus had cheated on her yet again, so Alcaeus'
I can't imagine why.
renamed him in her honor. Yep, Heracles means glory to Hera. Too bad she had already made up her mind though, and that kid was gonna pay.
The child would need some way to survive Hera's wrath, so the goddess of heroes carried out a plan that was, frankly, insane. Athena tricked Hera into nursing the baby Heracles, and her milk gave him supernatural strength unbound, even beyond many of the gods themselves.
So strong that he hurt her and caused her to spray milk all over the place like a boob sprinkler, which in turn created the galaxy. Yep. That's
Yeah.
why we call it the Milky Way. Oh god, I'm never eating one of those candy bars again.
With his godlike power, Heracles became a fierce warrior trained by the finest instructors in all of Greece. Unfortunately, he wasn't without problems. While he was a natural
Who
at
isn't,
boxing,
really?
wrestling, fencing, and so much more, he struggled in the arts.
He even had a fit and accidentally killed his music teacher.
Little did Heracles
Oops.
know this was a sign of the tragedy to come. Many years later, as his name began to be synonymous with the term hero, he murdered his wife, Princess Megara, and their sons.
Yeah, Hera had magically driven him into a kill frenzy rage, but that didn't excuse it for Herc. His guilt was there.
Desperate to atone, he sought guidance from the Oracle of Delphi and learned his path to redemption. He would submit himself to King Eurystheus and perform for him 10 grueling labors.
The guy was a D-bag, but Herc did what he had to, and through his struggles built a killer arsenal.
For his first labor, he was tasked with slaying a lion whose hide could not be pierced by any blade.
So Herc just beat the lion to death with his bare hands and took the pelt as armor for himself.
He defeated a flock of metal, man-eating birds with cortalas so loud no living thing could bear the noise. He battled a multi-headed hydra, cauterizing its necks after each decapitation so the heads would not grow back.
A lot of sliced off heads meant a lot of blood spilled, and hydra blood is extra poisonous. Even gods fear it, so Herc dipped his arrows in the stuff for later use, like when he used them to take out centaurs, titans, and even the sun.
Sort of. The details of the Smith differ, but in some versions, Heracles was so fed up with the desert heat, he fired an arrow at the sun, the physical embodiment of the god Helios.
I guess that's one way to cool off. Take that,
I guess.
global warming!
To reach the sun, his arrow would have to fly 90 times faster than light. The maximum draw weight of a
So why does
typical
it say
recurve
100?
bow is about 40 pounds, shooting an arrow 300 feet per second. Shooting one faster than light would require strength incomprehensible to mortals such as us.
Anyway, Herc completed his labors, but the king was a sore loser and axed 2 of them for cheating, because Herc was a lot more clever than he expected.
Heracles received 2 more tasks, one of which required he retrieve the golden apples of Hesperides, which ironically originally belonged to Hera. As part of his plan, Heracles would temporarily take on the role of the Titan Atlas, as bearer of the heavens.
That sounds exhausting.
More than you think, dummy. While modern art often portrays Atlas carrying a globe, the Greeks perceived his burden as a celestial sphere. This would mean Heracles supported the weight of not just the Earth, but the whole universe.
Like, I'm holding up this entire show.
The common view of the time was that the universe
dummy.
was endless. Even chaos, the primordial origin of everything, was boundless. Meaning, Heracles held up the weight of conceptual infinity.
Luckily, Herc's got one hell of a drive to persevere and to make amends. Like when he met King Admetus, he got to party it up and was too drunk to realize the king was in a really bad state because his wife had just died.
Reminds me of someone.
Can't imagine who. Well, Herc felt bad, so he decided to make it up to his bro by literally beating up the god of death until he returned Admetus' wife. And that's true best friend material. Whiz.
Heracles frequently surprised others with his wit, particularly with finding solutions hidden in plain sight. For example, when he wrestled Antaeus, a giant who was invincible so long as his feet were on the ground, Heracles simply picked him up and strangled him in the air.
Even giants and the god of death couldn't end his story. Instead, he was tricked into putting on a shirt covered in that hydra blood, and it totally screwed him up. What a BS way to go.
Yet also a testament to how a contest of power could not defeat him. Racked with unbearable pain and burning at a pyre, Heracles called to the deities who had watched his story unfold. And so, as his mortal form returned to ash, Heracles ascended to Mount Olympus,
where he was welcomed as the god of strength. Even Hera lightened up.
His life may have been one of strife and struggle, but on that day, all the world was left in awe of the legend of Heracles.
Well, dang. Okay.
There once
Now for
was
the
a
monkey.
mighty monkey warrior, born of a mystic stone from the energy of the sun and moon. Upon birth, he graciously bowed to the cardinal directions and
Shot lasers from his eyes. Strap in, folks. This one's a doozy.
this monkey soon befriended a band of other primates.
Japanese
and
name,
rather
Son Goku.
narcissistically
Oh,
named
really?
himself their handsome monkey king.
But after a few centuries of monkeying about, he got a taste of the dreaded midlife crisis.
You see, the Monkey King was fierce and brave, yet he feared death. So he ventured to new lands in search of immortality.
Turns out he'd find a lot of it.
Training under the Taoist master Puti, he earned his first method of immortality and a new name. He would be the Monkey Awakened to the Void, spoken as Sun Wukong.
He also learned a bunch of magic. He can ride clouds, make thousands of clones, heal from fatal wounds like decapitation, and transform into basically anything. A bird, some vapor, a pitchfork, even an incredible fighting temple.
With his famous cloud somersault, he could traverse the world at incredibly high speed. At first, a single somersault could carry him 108,000 li, li being a traditional Chinese unit equal to about 500 meters, making one somersault move 54,000 kilometers per second. fast enough to circle the entire Earth in one leap.
And he'd only get faster from there. Monkey would do whatever it took to prove he was the best of the best.
When fighting the mighty deity Prince Nocha, his foe transformed into a more powerful visage with 3 heads and 6 arms.
But Sun was like, hey, I can do that too, and then did just that.
Sun Wukong eventually returned to his simian subjects, and with his newfound power, amassed a veritable army. However, he felt no weapon in their arsenal suited him.
So he barged into the Dragon King's palace and demanded he hand over a weapon worthy of a king who could match the power of heaven. Yeah, Sun was pretty full of himself, but he wound up taking a pillar originally designed to measure the depths of the ocean.
What seemed like a worthless rod to the Dragon King was actually the perfect weapon for Wukong. Weighing nearly 8 tons, the Rui Jingu Bang can change size at his whim. It can shrink to the size of a needle or grow long enough to pierce the heavens.
The same heavens that got pretty mad with Sun after he crossed his name out of the Ledger of Death, making himself double immortal. Wait, how does that work?
And even more mad when he demanded to be formally acknowledged as the great sage equal to heaven.
Okay, we've got a headstrong goofball who quickly masters new powers and wants a fancy title. This is just shown in anime.
Now, the Monkey King may have lashed out, but it was because when he requested a place in heaven, a place he truly believed he deserved, the Jade Emperor's court reduced him to a stable boy.
Beneath all his antics, what Sun wanted most was to prove himself.
Even with all the shenanigans, the Jade Emperor remained cautious and willing to placate Wukong.
By making him the watchdog of the Garden of Immortal Peaches. He totally ate that shit, didn't he, Wiz?
Oh yeah, Wukong got hammered, ate most of the peaches, ran around the Jade Palace in a fit, and found 5 gourds of immortality pills, which he promptly swallowed. All of them.
Okay, so that makes how many layers of immortality now?
I'd say a few 100,000, if you count each individual peach and pill. When he sobered up, he knew he was in serious trouble. So, naturally, he prepared for war.
Wow, that escalated quickly. What are they gonna do? Kill him? So the Monkey King proved too strong for heaven. He battled all their best fighters and even matched Erlong Shen blow for blow in an epic battle of transformations. He's that guy with the third eye.
And heaven's greatest holy warrior. Yet no matter Erlong's form, Wukong always had a counter. Until Lao Zi threw in a convenient plot MacGuffin that captured the monkey. But even with Wukong in chains, heaven had a problem.
He just wouldn't die. Lightning, fire, even Lao Zi's de-immortalizing furnace just made the monkey stronger.
Now, Wukong is not invincible. He has been hurt by the scorpion demoness's poison, which could even harm the Buddha, an awakened divine being liberated from the cycle of life and death entirely. Now tell me, how painful is that?
Pain is all in the mind, and I am absent of mind. Oh God, oh no, I was wrong. It's bad, it's really, really, really bad. Oh God, make it stop. But even after all that, Sun had one more challenger to contend with. The Buddha himself.
Buddha approached Wukong with a contest. Leap out of his hand, and he could have the Jade Emperor's throne for himself.
Having no impulse control, the monkey agreed, and in an instant somersaulted to the very edge of heaven.
But he had already lost. Because Buddha achieved nirvana, he transcended the world, literally holding all of existence. So even at the edge of the universe, Wukong technically never left his hand.
For his rebellion, Sun was put in timeout, sealed under a mountain for 500 years.
But even son Wukong would find a chance at redemption. In his case, he was tasked with escorting and protecting a monk, Tansong Zong, or Tripitaka, on a journey to the west.
With additional companions, Pigsy and Sandy, the trip was a tough one, and Monkey abandoned it more than once. But through it all, he always returned to shine as the group's powerhouse, saving Tripitaka's life many, many times. Seriously, this guy could not stay out of trouble. It's like Wiz at a blind date.
Wukong has cracked apart mountains, slayed hundreds of monsters, and survived the Yellow Wind Demon storm that could destroy the universe. As in heaven, earth, the 18 layers of hell, and more.
That's cool and all, Wiz, but let's answer the real question. Can he beat Goku?
Maybe. During his journey, Wukong performed possibly his most legendary feat, holding up Mount Sumeru, which in traditional Mahayana Buddhism is a mountain supporting the infinite cosmic sky.
And Sun just hauled it around on one shoulder. Just one, because on his other shoulder was a whole other mountain.
After 14 years of travel, the journey was complete, and Wukong had finally accomplished a truly great deed. For this, he was given his long-awaited place among the heavens.
As the victorious fighting Buddha. Now that's gotta be an anime.
After so much time as a rebel, an outcast, and a truly unstoppable warrior, Sun Wukong had, at last, found his home.
Good for him.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
And pause. Okay, I still have no idea who's winning. Dang it. Okay, so they mentioned the poison thing was a pretty big deal. Which Hercules has in the arrows. I want to say the arrows are faster than the 54,000. Give me a moment. Okay, yeah, it's faster. The arrows are faster. At least if Google conversion is anything to go by. I'm pretty sure the arrows are faster than the somersault thing. Both seemed relative. I mean, both seemed relatively relatively even in terms of strength. I want to say Hercules is still stronger, but I'm not sure. But it's again, it's what I was saying before, the immortality thing. So I want to say, okay, I'm gonna do what I did for Thor versus Vegeta, and I'm gonna go with Sun Wukong. And the reason why is because either Hercules wins and my preferred character wins, and either Hercules, who's my preferred character, and the person I picked before watching the fight ends up winning, or Sun wins and I guessed it right based on the analysis. I'm still not 100% sure. I could really see this going either way. Yeah. I say we jump right into it. I really like I saw the preview. I really like this so far.
Our tale begins atop a great mountain where the mighty Hercules sought a gift from the gods.
Oh there. Huh? I'm in need of that apple. Relinquish it.
Sorry, I'm supposed to find my master some vegetarian food.
I just noticed
You'll
this,
find
like,
it
the scratch
elsewhere.
texture on the sprites. That's so cool.
But Hercules was not so easily fooled.
Hmm.
The Monkey King's strike rang true, but he'd not so easily overwhelm the god of strength.
I really like this background. It really looks like something you see on Mythology. And I'm like, okay, previewing's here.
I am Hercules!
Bringing out the arrows so soon. That's not good. And I forgot about the clones.
Die, demon!
No demon.
Agony! Agony!
That's a trick.
The Monkey King fell into a strange forest, in awe at such a wondrous fight. But should he mistake his fear, he might lose his head.
Yeah, no way that's
such
it.
fun since I fought all of heaven. Change! Behold me, the immortal Monkey King!
Multiple heads. Of course.
Watch this!
That's fun. Oh, right, he grew it. Okay. Not that easy.
That's your fun, beast. But I've had enough!
In heavens above, the gods witnessed their earthbound selves, and so joined in battle. The god of strength mustered the heart of Olympus, while the great sage harnessed power equal to heaven. Thus, the Monkey King emerged victorious!
Aww.
Wow, would you look at that? I struck him so hard he was reduced to nothingness.
With a formidable foe slain, stricken against the mountain's breast, so ends our great tale of East and West.
Wow.
KO! Talk about a Herculean matchup!
Hercules
was cool.
was among the greatest heroes in myth, but the great sage equal to heaven held many more advantages.
You'd think Sun might not measure up to the god of strength, strength, but he totally could. Remember, he
Yeah.
carried Sumeru on his back, the mountain holding up the infinite celestial sky, like how Hercules held up the infinite celestial sphere.
As befitting heroes of myth, they were on par in that they were both incomprehensibly strong. However, Wukong's healing abilities meant he could bounce back from Heracles' deadliest blows, whereas Heracles did not have a similar option.
But Heracles did have one way of putting the Monkey King down. His
The
arrows
arrows.
dipped in Hydra poison.
The Hydra poison threatened even the gods of Olympus, similar to the Scorpion Sting. Whether or not it would be fatal is questionable, but it could have incapacitated Wukong, similar to how it affected Heracles himself.
But that is one very specific win condition, and we're looking at this with every possible option in mind.
With his variety
Fair
of
enough.
clones, transformations, and numerous other spells, Wukong's arsenal was far more versatile.
Like, there was nothing stopping him from making thousands of clones of himself and just sitting back while they beat up Herc for him. Unsportsmanlike? Sure. In character? Absolutely.
Even then, those arrows would have to actually strike Wukong, which would be extremely difficult. Yes, in some depictions, Heracles could potentially shoot the son of Helios, his arrows flying 90 times the speed of light. However, in his contest with the Buddha, Wukong leapt to the edge of the universe in a single second. To do so, he had to be moving over 1.4 quintillion times faster than light.
Making him way faster than Herc could ever hope to be.
Heracles held might of mythic proportions, but barring a lucky shot, Sun Wukong's versatile magic, similar strength, and absolutely absurd speed overcame this foe. Fitting for heaven's equal.
When fighting Sun Wukong, Heracles missed his chance.
The winner is the Monkey King, Sun Wukong.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to see who comes next, and if you can't wait, consider clicking that join button below to become a Death Battle member. You'll get exclusive badges, emotes, live chats, live streams, and way more.
Boba Fett versus the Predator. Ow. There we go. Okay, yeah, like I said, I knew that one was coming ahead of time. So that's our mid-season finale. I mean, I assume. I'm not entirely sure how the season's going right now, but yeah, I mean, I kind of figured as such. It's a shame though. I kind of would have preferred Boba Fett, not Boba Fett, Predator versus the Arbiter. Still, I guess I'll take this over Star-Lord. Because, I mean, that match sounds fine. Like, I think it's not, I don't think it's as bad as people say it is, but, I would rather see Star-Lord fight Commander Shepard, personally. So, I mean, either way, I'm losing a fight, so I guess the Arbiter's chance will have to come another day. So I have not seen the Predator movies yet. I have a collection of them, but I was waiting till I was doing the same thing I was doing with Akira, and I was waiting until this fight got announced because I had a feeling that Predator was going to be Boba Fett's opponent. But I mean, now I have a reason to, so there's that. I think Boba Fett's winning that pretty easily, though. At least as far as I know. Again, I'm not entirely sure. I wouldn't mind seeing Predator win because, honestly, outside of like, I mean, as far as I haven't read Star Wars Legends, but as far as like the Disney canon is concerned, like the 9 episodes, Clone Wars, Mandalorian, Rebels, blah 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 blah. I really only find Boba Fett a relatively interesting character in like Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. Like he's actually a character. Granted, I haven't seen all of Clone Wars, and again, I have not read Legend stuff. But also, shout out to everybody who actually genuinely thought that this was going to be Boba Fett versus Samus round 3. I know y'all didn't want it, but I bet you feel pretty stupid right now. Anyways, so I don't know. I mean, I don't really have much of a preference one way or the other. I'm not the biggest fan of Boba Fett. Like I said, I like him in like Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, but aside from that, like the movies he appears in, he is not a character. Like just straight up not a character. So yeah. But I mean, maybe when I actually watch the Predator movies, maybe there will be something there for me to root for. But I'm pretty sure Boba Fett's gonna win anyway. So yeah. Hey, another new franchise though. We're 8 episodes in, and we got how many? 1, 2. No, luckily, all the other episodes are on my screen right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 new franchises. And yes, I count the boys because the 7 Battle Royale doesn't count. If it did, then Goku Black vs. Reverse Flash would have been episode 150, but it was not. Say what you will about the episode 150 we actually got, but it is still episode 150, and you cannot deny that. Anyways, as for this fight, because I'm getting sidetracked, this fight was pretty cool. I'll have to watch it again when I'm not when I'm in a better mood, but it was fun. Sprites were very expressive. I like the voice actors. The narration wasn't overly annoying, like I feared it was gonna be. Yeah. And I genuinely had no idea what was gonna happen until the end. So good on you, Death Battle. You made a fight that I had no idea how it was gonna work look really freaking cool. So yeah, like I said at the beginning, if they ever wanted to tackle mythology again, I'd have no complaints. But I don't really have a whole lot to say on this one. It was good, but it's gonna need a rewatch from me. So just for me to get a better idea of how good the episode actually is. I didn't really care for Omni-Man vs. Homelander when it first came out, but upon several rewatches, I've grown to really appreciate the fight. So maybe this fight will be the same way. So yeah. So that is Hercules versus Wukong. Next time we got Boba Fett versus the Predator. Hoping that's good. From my understanding, it is not sprites, so there's that. So that'll be fun. Probably more than most likely 3D, I imagine. But, because I don't know how. I mean, I imagine doing a live action Predator would be pretty tricky, given. I mean, Predator himself comes from a live action movie series, but it's a Hollywood project versus small indie versus show. So yeah, probably 3D, I would imagine. But anyways, I am going to skedaddle on out of here. I have stuff to unpack, and I not unpacked English. I have stuff to unpack, and I have a video to edit now. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you all when Boba Fett vs. Predator comes out, or when we do a podcast. Probably when we do a podcast. So that's all I have to say. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you all in the next video. Bye, everybody.